Welcome back to the Mentors for Kids podcast. This is the Disha Series, and I am Vishal Krishna, your host, of course. Today I'm going to be talking to Radhika Singh, who is from the firm Aletheia Legal. She's going to talk about intellectual property. A lot of us know it as IP. Okay, IP is so important. It protects your work. It protects, for example, I'm a writer, so it protects your publishing work, and it also protects the videos that you do. And you commerce students obviously will study finance, accounting, whatnot, and some of you may go study law. And the basis of everything there, especially when you're advising business, is intellectual property or IP. It's a complex subject, but Radhika is going to make it simple for you. If you come so far, please like, subscribe. We've done about 12 episodes. We're going to do more. We want to inspire you in Mentors for Kids. We want to make sure that you're employable. By the way, if you go to mentorsforkids.in, all the courses are free. And again, we are doing this in Karnataka, but we'll do it national in a bit. But we need your support. Please like, subscribe. All you commerce finance students watching this, or if you're even an engineer watching this to understand how finance works or how IP works, please like and subscribe and come back to us with questions. And Radhika will be more than happy to answer it. Go check out our YouTube page. Go check out our website, which is mentorsforkids.in. And I'm Vishal Krishna, getting into the podcast right now. Radhika, it's not often that I spend time with a lawyer, but I think lawyers are very important. A lot of the creative people need to understand what IP means. A lot of the finance-related folks need to understand IP. But let me begin by just asking you, when did you realize that you want to be a lawyer?
I think when, so I started off, as a child, I used to love reading John Grisham and all the books there and all the stories. And I had this thing that whenever we used to watch murder mysteries, I always used to predict who the person is going to be, who's the murderer. And I would love doing that. I would love finding out twists. And in the books, I used to enjoy the fact that, one thing which fascinated me is that lawyers get paid to talk. So, and I love talking. So I think that's where the interest happened. And then at home, sometimes there used to be contracts. So I used to review those and I used to look at those and I used to try and find loopholes even as a kid. So I think, that's where the interest came.
You said John Grisham. Everybody watching this, please remember, first point, reading is important. It could be a newspaper. It could be a crime mystery. John Grisham is where he started. And it's all law, right? John Grisham wrote about law.
It's all law, yeah.
And they made some movies as well. There's a firm by him?
Firm,
correct. There you go.
The Firm, The Pelican Brief.
I've read The Firm, and The Pelican Brief.
Yes.
But interesting, your dad introduced you to these and all, or was it self-discovered?
I think it was self-discovered, and my mom loved reading. So she loves to read novels and books, and she would tell me that if you want to pursue that, you need to start reading. So yes, reading is a very important habit and it helped me develop skills.
This is amazing. You make my life as an interviewer easy because once you start with books, that's where I think we can set the world on fire.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about IP. You're a lawyer. You run your own firm called Aletheia.
Aletheia, yeah.
And it means?
It means honesty and integrity in Greek.
So there you go. At that core, IP is intellectual property. And at the face of it, when I met you, I thought, okay, IP would mean, these engineering folks are discovering something and they get to patent it. And we commerce students would just help them file things and, just make sure they're compliant. But it's much more.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to explain it, please?
Yes. So I will try and keep it as simple as possible. I will not make it technical or legalese. So IP has various aspects in it. So I'll talk about the most popular ones. So you have trademark, you have copyright, you have patents, and you have designs. Trademark is the name, the brand.
Correct.
Or for example, if there's a swoosh sign, you will know that it belongs to Nike. And the name Nike itself is a trademark. And that helps people associate the products with the company name.
Okay.
Right? Then copyright is anything that you create. It could be literary work, which could be in the form of anything you write. Some people write stories, some people actually even manuals for that matter, or books are copyrighted. Then you have source code, those can be copyrighted. So it can be literary, dramatic, musical, artistic work, cinematograph, film and sound recording. All these are copyright.
Including software also.
Including the source code of a software. Yes.
Oh, so that's only at the trademark level.
That source code is copyright. And if you give the name to a software, that is trademark.
Okay.
So the brand name or the name of the program, that is trademark.
Absolutely. So many of these companies have their legal names, but they have brand names.
Exactly.
And those are
Trademark.
trademarks, which can also be copyrighted on the work and the source code.
So copyright would be if you have a very interesting logo, that can be copyrighted. So the Mercedes-Benz logo,
Yes.
that's an
3-star.
artistic work. Yes, that's an artistic work that can be copyrighted. But the symbol is also a trademark because it helps people identify that this belongs to Mercedes.
This is phenomenal. So people watching this, they either become lawyers, obviously commerce students become lawyers. And these are the things they have to understand. And there can be many gray areas with
Oh yeah, there are lots of gray areas. And
which means a lot of reading.
a lot of reading, a lot of deep diving, a lot of, you have to study a lot. You have to do a lot of, read a lot of cases to understand the gray areas. And to have the knowledge to understand how to differentiate the various kinds.
So that's what IP means, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take an example. You used an automobile company, Mercedes, and the 3-star symbol, or that's the brand identity.
That's their logo. Yeah.
Logo. So it's logo.
Yeah.
Logo, brand identity. Say the gray areas, not Mercedes per se. Generally, anybody. As a lawyer, how would you say a young startup entrepreneur? Let's look at it from a trading angle now, because most of them are commerce students, finance students. They come and say, I'm setting up a trading house, which isn't export-import.
Yeah.
And they'll say, look, I have a name, which is easy, which somebody will register for you.
Yeah.
Depending if that name is not already used or so.
Yes.
Then they'll say, okay, I'm exporting some software, maybe, or exporting some, say, a headphone or a earphone.
Okay.
And they're trading that.
Yeah.
So where do they start? Where does the complexity, start for you?
So the first thing, we'll have to ask them a couple of things. If I'm looking at it from an IP perspective, first thing I'm going to ask is, okay, simplest thing is, okay, what is your company name, right? And what is the brand under which you're going to be offering these services? We'll have to look at whether those names are available as a trademark in India. And the countries where they're going to export to, those names should also be available in those countries. Because if you come up with a name which is already taken by someone else in those countries, in respect of the same services, you can get into trouble. Because IP is territorial in nature. It's not that if you get a trademark in India, that's valid across the world. You have to file separately in each country that you want to enter and see if that brand is available there. So one is that's the simplest part. Second, we're going to ask them is whether they are manufacturing the products on their own that they want to export, or are they selling it? Okay, or they're just distributing it. So if they're manufacturing, then even for the products, like you said, headphones, they fall in a separate category in trademark. They have 45 classes. So we look at the classes that they fall in accordingly, right? Then if it is, if they're not manufacturing it, do they have the license to sell it? Do they have the permission from the manufacturer to export it? Do they have agreements to that extent? Then if they've created something on their own, and if it's something unique, if the design is very unique, the way it looks is very unique, aesthetic aspect is there, then we will see whether they can file a design for it.
Wow.
So, and if it's a software, like you said, if it is something, again, unique, we can file for a source code so that people can't copy it and, they are taken care of. And if they're exporting services, like a software, if they're developing it for someone and they're offering it there, they need to be very clear that in their agreements, it's clearly mentioned that they own the software, they own the source code, and they're licensing it to someone, or they're developing it for someone else.
Superb. I mean, on many levels, whether you own the hardware, One is the legal name.
Yes.
And then the product itself.
Yes.
Whether the hardware, did you do it or did someone else do it?
Yeah.
The software, did you do it or someone else do it?
Yeah.
And then thereon you're distributing it, or the entire, do you own the entire value chain from manufacturing to distribution?
Yes.
Wow.
So they have to look at, so it's not that simple. So we have to literally sit down and understand their business to be able to break it down for them and to see how they need to safeguard.
Wow. And a lot of I'm glad I brought in the headphone example, because a lot of these guys are now doing content also. They work with multiple influencers who do music, who obviously talk about the product. Would the brand then own the content, or would it be the purview of the influencer? That's another complexity.
Yes.
Where is the IP there?
So, see, in copyright, it's very clear that, and there are different aspects. Photographs have a separate right. But if we look at generally content that is developed, now the person who creates the content is the owner and is the author and the first owner of the content, unless there is an agreement where the person says, I am hiring you. So that's a work for hire. So if the company is hiring the influencer and saying as a work for hire, whatever you create belongs to me in an agreement. If there is no agreement, it belongs to the influencer, even though the brand is paying the influencer.
See, these are the things that commerce students should really help people in, man. And if you got so far, please like and subscribe, because I'm definitely going to watch this podcast again, because being a publisher myself, I've not done any of these. Instead, maybe I can become your customer, right? And it's interesting. Okay, now, you mentioned Nike, Mercedes. These brands will get 100 over 100 for the compliance, for all these things, because they've been around for a while.
Really?
And India is growing. The number of brands are growing, right? What is that one common mistake that you see people make before they get to that real scale? I've seen brands get into IP-related issues because they haven't sorted it when they started.
Absolutely.
I keep telling entrepreneurs, start it now. I'm mostly the tech guys. The brand guys, I don't know whether they do it at all. For example, these beauty products, so many of them have gone to 1,000 crore scale. I don't know whether they own the IP now still, because the manufacturer may just wake up and it's mine. It's not yours.
That's a very interesting question and very important. So if I were to advise people who are starting off, the first thing you have to see is when you're starting off, a lot of people say, oh, I'll come up with the name. It's okay. We'll see later if there is someone else. That is the worst thing they do. Because imagine you have started a company. You are investing and marketing in building a name.
Yes.
And once you've reached a certain place, you get sued because you are infringing on someone else's trademark. Right? So first thing, don't take it so casually. When you're thinking of a name, another aspect, please do not use names that describe your products. Those are the worst names to have, because if today you are in the FMCG industry and you are using a name which is commonly used by other people, how will you stop them from using that name?
Yeah.
How will your brand name stand out?
Yeah.
So first thing, please, yes, invest time and look at a name which does not have a meaning.
Okay.
It can be a coined word.
Right.
That's the best trademark. Like a Kodak or a Dunzo. It has no meaning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They are the best names to have. Like,
Correct.
second is when you are creating a software. Like a lot of people now on e-commerce or somebody is creating a software like now AI is everywhere, but differently if people are creating their own software.
Absolutely.
Main thing is have a contract with a person who is developing your software if it is outsourced.
Okay.
Because I've had issues where clients were going for investments or somebody was trying to buy them out and they realized they don't own the source code because they did not have an agreement with the software developer.
Wow.
So that is very important because if you don't have an agreement, the person who's developed the software is the owner of the software, even though you have paid them for it.
Wow, interesting stuff. So if they all become entrepreneurs, the first thing that they have to do is agreements.
Agreements, get their name sorted out. The name should be there. They need to get into agreements. They need to see if anybody's... Another very important thing I realized is somebody created a fantastic logo, really nice looking logo. And I asked them, so did you create it on your own? They're like, yeah, we got an agency to create it for us. Somehow, I don't know what happened. My team was going through something and they found exactly the same logo on Google. So it was not created for the client. They tried to go for a brand agency which charged them peanuts.
Which everybody does.
And they just copied it. They modified it a little bit and gave it to the client.
Wow, man. This is so interesting. India, as young as it is, I see all these creators go there and do wonderful things, but then they make these common mistakes that they use music that should not be used, right? I mean, and again, even how do you IP an Instagram ad? I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's a platform. So how do you advise some of these creators who get to some of them are really big, 50 crore. I mean, that's 1% of the influencers. Some of them get to 50 to 100 crore revenues. Do you think they would have IP'd everything that they're doing?
So IP in that we'll have to break it down.
Yeah.
So a lot of influencers now file a trademark for their name. A lot of famous personalities do that.
There's their names.
Their names, okay? And in respect of the industry where they are known for, then a lot of them will create content. Now the content that they create, generally influencers are doing it for someone else, right?
Absolutely.
They're promoting a brand.
Absolutely.
So there they'll have agreements where normally the brand owners will
Have the IP.
or the copyright on the content.
Including all the raw files and all that.
Yeah, generally.
Interesting.
Now it depends on what the influencers and the brand owner, influencers and the companies kind of enter into an agreement.
Right.
Some influencers are very particular that their content belongs to them and they may license it to someone to use it for
Yeah, you license the publishing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you may do that. So it depends actually on the influencer. Music is very important. We are working on certain matters where people have picked up music and used it in their Instagram videos or some other advertisements without realizing. They say, oh, it's just a minute or it's just so many seconds.
I think the fair use policy is 15 to 20 seconds, I think, not more.
And even at that time, it cannot be the heart of the song.
Wow.
So you can use it, but only 15 to 20 seconds, and even then can't be the punch, right?
Yeah, it can't be that chorus line the song is known for.
So people say, okay, 15, 20 seconds, 30 ho gaya, what's the big deal? So they don't realize that it is copyright infringement. So you need to be very particular that you're taking permission or you're licensing it. So those are the kind of issues that come in.
I want to quickly talk about influencers, say in the music industry itself. They've really got a lot of followers and some of them are very technically, musically correct. So they take a song and say, they don't play the background music, but they play the song on the guitar or the drums. And they have pieces of the software, software that takes the pieces of the song and they break it down. Then the brand comes and pulls it down, or the publishing company comes and pulls it down. The Instagrammer or the YouTuber says, look, I'm not making money out of this. I'm just putting out what I like. And they claim that they're actually doing the publishing companies a favor because more people are now listening to the music. Because it's happened to me. I listened to the music that these technical people in music put it out. And then I say, hey, man, this is really good. I want to go check it out. But then there's loggerheads, right? You must have had a lot of these cases.
A lot of these cases, yes.
Why not then, in that case, really say that, okay, this guy is actually doing us a favor? I'm just saying, how does a lawyer handle this case?
So, interestingly, we are currently handling a case where there were music videos that were created and they were instrumental, right? And somebody, like you said, broke it down, but now, when you look at a sound recording, okay, I'll get a little technical here, but
I think these kids are old enough because they have to realize they have to be technical.
Yeah.
They're all going to be advising.
Absolutely. So, a little clarity here. So, when you look at a sound recording, right, it comprises of various copyrights.
Yes.
So, one is your literary work, which are your lyrics. One is the musical work, which is the music notation. And lyrics and musical work together make the sound recording.
Okay.
Right? Now, if there are no lyrics, it's fine. Then you don't kind of infringe the literary work. But if there are, the instrumental is there, the musical notations are there. If you use the musical notations as is, or you break them down, but it's the same.
Correct.
Then, and if you're sharing it in bits and pieces or you're trying to play it, the fact is you are infringing someone else's musical work.
Okay, and you need to take prior permission.
You have to take permission.
Which is a good process.
Yeah.
So, but does that take long?
See, a lot of times what people say, artists will say is, people who want to use the music, how do I know who's the person to reach out to? Like I might reach out to
that's the
someone on LinkedIn saying, I really like this tune of yours.
Can I
have
record it? Yeah.
Now for that, you have a lot of various organizations like IPRS and all these are there who kind of have rights to
So you have to plan this.
so you can reach out to them for a license like that. You have PPL, IPRS, a lot of these organizations are there who safeguard different copyright societies, copyright owners. So they can reach out to them. They can take permission from them and then use it.
Wow, what an interesting world we live in. I thought it was so simple in the past. All right, so if you got this far, again, like and subscribe. I want to bring in a few topics like being part of the right network. When do you sign up with lawyers? So I want to start with the network problem. We are all part of networks, and I think everybody finds their community. How important are these communities for you or networks?
So, see, if you are, so I'll divide it into two. Now, if you are a professional, right, you need to upscale, you need to meet like-minded people. And you must have heard it so many times, your network is your net worth. So, it's very important to surround yourself with people who will inspire you, who will encourage you to move forward in life.
Yes.
And with whom you can have intellectual discussions, because we all love engaging with people.
Yes.
So I think network is very important. But if you are an entrepreneur and if you think of being an entrepreneur, you have to be part of a network. There are no two ways about it. Some people say, I'm going to start my business and my whole focus has to be on business and I cannot get distracted by being part of multiple groups.
Yeah.
That's the worst mistake a person can make.
Yes.
I've been part of a network for 10 years, okay? And multiple networks. What it gives you is entrepreneurship journey at times can be lonely.
Yeah.
And it can be very challenging as well. It can be extremely rewarding, but it can be very challenging. And at those moments, you need to be around people who are dealing with similar issues. Because that is where you get advice. That is where you have a shoulder to cry on or to lean on. You know that they understand what you're dealing with. And that's where you find mentors. That's where you also find friends who you can, you can just say, oh God, I'm going crazy with this client or I'm going crazy with my team. So having a network is extremely important. One, what advice I would also give people is a network is not only for getting business.
Yeah. It's not all transactional.
Yeah, it's not all transactional. I've been very fortunate to be part of a network which gives business and helps me grow. I've also been fortunate to be part of a business of a network where I get to contribute to the society. And I think that's a beautiful balance because generally people think, oh, let me retire, then I will look at, doing something. But if you do both simultaneously, it's very fulfilling.
Absolutely.
So that's where I would say being part of a network is extremely important, whether you're a professional or you're an entrepreneur.
And did that start early for you in your case? Do you have mentors telling you that, look, you got to be part of networks, or was it natural to you?
It just came naturally.
Which is important to build also, right? Like going back to your earlier point, you are very academic.
Yes.
And it's good to be academic and also network. You can't just say, I'll do one and not the other.
Yeah, because what happens is if you're academic and then if suppose you start your own work, and if you're only focused on work, you may grow professionally, but are you really growing personally? And for me, the best thing you can do for yourself is to grow professionally and personally.
Okay. It's such a valid point. And I mean, a lot of the kids that I talk to or mentor or even mature startups or mature companies that I meet, they don't want to talk to CAs, they don't want to talk to lawyers. At what stage do they sign them up?
So, see, signing up, I understand maybe for some of them it may be difficult because a lot of startups come to me and they say, oh, can we be on a retainer? And I will honestly tell them, do not go for a retainer right now. You do not need to retain a lawyer because it'll be too much. Do you have that amount of work that you can engage a lawyer month on month?
Yes.
So I tell them, go and speak to lawyers and understand what is your immediate requirement. So they need to, see, ideally, startups need to have a lawyer and a CA right from the beginning.
I agree. At least on a, it doesn't mean you have to pay them on a retainer basis.
No, you don't. You can do as and when required, you can do that because, see, retainer doesn't make sense. I'll be very honest. Right in the beginning, it doesn't make sense to have a retainer. Have a lawyer and it's very important to have a lawyer and a CA that you can connect with.
Yeah.
And relate to and know that they're there for you.
Yeah.
So that comfort needs to be there. And go speak to them as and when needed.
Yeah.
And just be clear that they let you know upfront what their charges are, so there are no surprises.
Absolutely.
That is very important.
I think most of the Indians don't have that conversation. It's sad.
It's very important.
I think it's important to set the context right there, saying, I need you for this, I need you for this. What's the charge?
Yeah.
And simple as that.
And see, it needs to be both ways.
Yeah.
There are professionals who will say, don't worry.
Yeah, I've always heard that.
Yeah, don't worry, it's not much, it'll be okay. It leads to a lot of issues. Yes. For me, initially when I started off, I was clear this is not the way I can work because I don't like anything which is vague.
Again, grey. Again, no grey areas.
No. I like everything black and white and clear.
But we'll do this work well.
Yes.
And that's how they should, and I think from both sides, they should set that context.
Yeah, and it helps the startups know what will be the expense that they may incur.
Right.
And I respect their choice. If it works for them, they will go ahead with it. If it doesn't, we'll see what we can do. Is there a way we can work out? But that is something which I would tell people, that be clear on what the interaction will be or what kind of the charges will be, so they know upfront.
It's interesting. That is the basis of all trust.
Oh, yeah.
And trust takes time. But if you set the expectations in the beginning, you live a smoother life.
Yes.
There is no right match. Right? Like Indians look for the right match always. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's never the case.
The perfect end.
Yes. It's like a movie. It's not a movie, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Right? You got to set context and reduce the gray area. It makes your life better.
Absolutely.
Contracts are important, and you heard her out. IP is so deep. We'll perhaps call her to another podcast where we pick design as a subject, maybe.
It's a lot.
Or a source code as a subject. We can go deeper into it. And this podcast on many levels has helped me learn on what I can do with my publishing business. And I hope you guys from Mentors for Kids, you come study your commerce subject of finance and, empower yourselves that you got to remove the gray areas. You really don't have to run around. There's enough information. You got to be part of a network. That's important. My last question, Radhika, is this. What would you advise to the current 20-year-old? That's first question. The second question is, what would you advise to your 20-year-old self and say, what would you have done better? Two questions. One for the general 20-year-olds watching this and graduating. And the next one is for yourself.
So I think it would be the same.
What would it be?
For both. It would be just believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. That is the most important thing. Mm-hmm. If you set your mind to something, you will be able to achieve it.
Yes.
There are no two ways about it.
Yes.
But you need to be ready to work hard for it and to give in the time that it requires, and do not shy away from hard work. The other thing is spend your time in upskilling yourself. And learning is forever. That is one thing which, so it's not like, okay, I'll finish this course and that's it. That's something I would love to tell the 20-year-old in me, saying, I should have told you that you will study forever and not just finish the courses.
But you've done well for yourself. You're really certifying yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, because I just feel that the time you stop investing in yourself to grow professionally and personally, I think you've lost the game.
Yeah, and it's as real as that.
Yeah, it's as real as that.
I think we're living in an environment that's forever been competitive. And it's only a myth that, world was once ideal. Nothing. There's nothing, no ideal state.
No, and it's at the end of the day, you're investing in yourself.
Yes, that is the real ideal.
Yeah, and in your team, in yourself. So when I did the course, I ensured my colleague did the course along with me, and we both of us studied, and it just brought us closer, I think. And it was a beautiful thing. I wrote an exam after 16 years. And it was a very enriching experience.
I think all of us can take a cue out of this podcast that learning is forever. And, you don't be hard on yourself, but you got to keep going. And it's lifelong learning. Yeah. My question to you on books, what are you reading that I want to know what you're reading so I can go home and buy those.
So I read a lot of different things. I like to, now I'm thinking, okay.
You can pick up your favorite. It could be across time.
So I have read The Alchemist because I believe in that. Then a lot of John Grisham.
Yes.
Then Your Why, that one. Then I read, so I also read Harry Potter.
Okay,
when I want to be lighter,
nice.
on the lighter note.
Yes.
Then a lot of, I won't call them self-help books or how to be an entrepreneur, not that. But they keep you grounded. They make you realize that there is a lot to learn. And
like a 0 to 1 kind of a book?
Yeah, like a 0 to 1 or a lot of, which now I'm forgetting the names, but Stephen Covey or, a lot of these people. I just keep
They're all good books.
All good books that I'll keep reading. I'll keep jumping from one book to the other because each book has a story to tell.
Yeah.
And each of them you can relate to at different levels.
Yeah.
And you can pick up. And for me, what I find interesting is anytime I'm dealing with something, like the E-Myth really helped me a lot.
Okay.
And it tells you about the kind of struggles you may have as an entrepreneur and what you need to be ready for.
Yeah. I agree. Stephen R. Covey is never a self-help book. It's about life experiences, right?
Yeah. So that's what I won't call it that, but experiences and how you learn from them. And one of the biggest thing that I'd got from reading the E-Myth and a couple of other books was that for the longest time, because I was working before I became an entrepreneur, my biggest struggle was to learn that I don't have to execute the whole time.
I can delegate.
I need to learn how to delegate and to delegate and to learn how to do business development and to think like an entrepreneur. So I think that was the biggest challenge, and that book really helped me deal with that. So yes, that's.
I'm going to put all this in the description. Radhika, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much as well. Thanks.